programs. If you want a world-class, exceptional group coaching program that makes you millions of dollars, there's a lot that goes into making that happen. So we like to start you slow. We like to start off slow so that we can build the foundation correctly so that you can scale it up. Number two is you want to start slow. So most coaches that come to us for help with their group coaching programs, they think that in order for them to launch a group coaching program, that they're going to have to go big or go home straight out of the gate right away. Their very first launch, the very first time they open the doors, immediately they have to go big or go home. And it's a very unrealistic expectation. And it's also not true, right? This is exactly what creates the fear and the worry of, I'm not going to get enough people in your program. And it's why you never launch the program, because you're so worried that we have to go big. We got to go big or go home. We have to get so many people in the first time. Or there's this, like people are going to think this, or people are going to think what, right? And so here's what we do instead with our clients. And this is what I do. And this is what I've done every time I've added or launched a group coaching program. We launch and have our clients launch what we call either a beta or a pilot program to start off. So we teach very high ticket, high end, year-long renewable group coaching programs. Ultimately, that's what our clients are doing. And that's what we're teaching them. That's my superpower. But they don't start there. They don't start there. We have them do a beta launch or a pilot program to start off, because that is way easier. It's got a lot less pressure. It's going to require less. And it also serves any insecurity or worries or fears or mindset stuff that you have around this being successful. So one, we start with either a beta or pilot version of your group coaching program just to start out. The second thing we do is we bring on a smaller group of people initially. I actually do not recommend to my clients that for the first time launching a group coaching program that you bring a boatload of people into it. I actually don't think that's very smart, because if you have not done this before, that can be so overwhelming and too much for you to take on initially that no matter how well we do things, you fail anyway. So I don't set my clients up to fail, right? If you haven't done a group coaching program before, or maybe you dabbled in it a little, but you really haven't had success with one, we're going to kind of meet you where you're at. And we're going to recommend that we don't try to go big, right? We don't try to go big right out of the gate. We really just look to bring a small, intimate group of people for at least the first time, right? So maybe it's just 5 or 6, a max of 10. Okay. So we're not looking for you to bring in 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 people the very first time you launch. That's crazy. That's actually not a very good strategy. And there's a lot that goes into group coaching programs. If you want a world-class, exceptional group coaching program that makes you millions of dollars, there's a lot that goes into making that happen. So we like to start you slow. We like to start off slow so that we can build the foundation correctly so that you can scale it up. Okay. And then what we do normally is we really suggest that you run your curriculum live at least the first time, because there's just going to be a lot of learning, and there's going to be a lot of newness and a lot of mistakes and a lot of kinks to work out. And the one mistake that I see when coaches come to me and they want to scale with a group coaching program is they will come to me and say, I've been spending months and months creating these modules and these trainings and these materials for my group coaching program. And they've never sold it, and they don't have anybody in it, and they don't even know if it's going to sell. And I'm like, well, how do you know what the curriculum is going to be that's going to serve your clients and get them where they're trying to go so that they get the result if we haven't done that, right? So I don't set my clients up to fail. We have you run it live first. That way you can tailor what everybody's needed, like what your clients are needed in those live real-time moments. And you can make sure they get what they need to get the result. And then when after you run that live, then you can record and create a membership, right? Then you can make it evergreen, right? Because now you've taken your client, you've taken a group of people through your process, and you got their questions, and they told you where they were stuck, and they told you where they were struggling, and you were able to get their questions and answer them. So what happens is you're able to really fine tune the curriculum before you go record it all and set it up. So every time you run your program, you can make these tweaks to your curriculum that make it better and better and better, and make it more condensed and make it easier for your clients to get the results. But in the beginning, like that first time, and maybe even a little bit on the second time, it's a little sloppy. It's a little messy. It's a little all over the place because you're running it live and you got questions from everybody and you're trying to run people through your process, right? And so it's not usually flawless the first time around, right? And so we don't want you to go through all this time. And plus, creating before you sell it's not a smart strategy anyway, right? You want to make sure that people are going to buy it. And so we don't want to be putting all this time and energy. Some of you guys spend months, right? Can you imagine months trying to build a curriculum that you don't even know if anyone's going to buy it, and no one's paid you for it yet, right? So then what happens is all those months you're not selling, you're creating. And then you hope that it sells when you put it out there, right? So we just have you run it live and keep it. We want it to be as easy as possible your first time so that you can focus on the delivery. You can focus on serving that small group of clients at the best of your ability, and you can wow them. That's really what we want you to focus on in the beginning. And then the other thing that we do is we have you pre-sell. We have you pre-sell. Maybe you add some early bird bonuses, but you're going to actually sell the program before it even starts. And yes, before you create anything, you're going to sell it first. You're going to get people to secure their spot. I want you to think of like Verizon. When they were coming out with the new iPhone, they spent like 3 months telling everybody there's this new iPhone coming out. They built all this anticipation, and then they let like people purchase and pay for the phone and reserve their phone before the phone ever came out, right? And people were buying the phone. So that's pre-selling, and that's early bird, and that's anticipation, because you don't want to be like, okay, here we are, here's my program ready to launch, and we have no buyers. We have all crickets. And you don't want to spend months not selling because you're so head down creating something that you don't know anybody's going to buy. So those are the 4 things that we do when we say go slow, start slow, have a beta or pilot program to start with, bring in just a small group of people initially, just so you could go really deep with them and really work them through your proven process, run the curriculum live for the first time. Don't create anything before anybody's paying you, and then pre-sell those spots before the program even starts, before you create, because now you know as soon as the first person pays you, it's go time. Like, great, we have people coming in, people are liking it, people are buying it, and now I have to deliver. So now it's like, let's fire it up and let's go. Now you're excited, you're getting confidence, and you want more and more sales, right? And so that's initially when we say start slow. That's exactly what we're talking about. And that's what we would recommend that you do. And it gives you that opportunity to really test your curriculum and your launch with a small group of people. Because remember, you also have to launch this. You have to launch it, right? And you have to get people saying yes. And you got to get people raising their hand. And you got to get the right people to come in, because you want the best people to come through your curriculum so they get the best results. So you could turn around and raise the price and know your messaging, dial your messaging in, so that every time you launch this program, every time you sell it, and every time you talk about it, you get better and better and more clear at that. And it continues to call in better and better high quality people. In the beginning, we don't expect you to do all that. In the beginning, it's like, let's just get people on that list. Let's get some hand raises, let's get some yeses, and let's get some sales in the door. And then we'll start kicking off the actual delivery, right? And so when we do this with our clients, you don't always have the best champion clients in this first round. You have a little mix. You have some that you're like, oh, I love these type of clients. And then you have some and you're like, oops, probably shouldn't have let them through the doors. And now I know that for next time. Right. And then you get to work that curriculum.